The Sex Ed with Tim podcast is recorded on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands.
You're listening to Sex Ed with Tim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. I'm your host Tim, certified sex educator, your local chaotic homosexual. And what is 72? Tell you what, it's 69 with 3 people watching. So stupid. My beautiful, wonderful chlamydiots, this is not just any episode, because guess what? This is episode 99. Oh my god. 99 episodes. 3 years of doing this. It's been exhausting, but I keep doing this because I love you all, even though I have never met any of you. Now, that means next episode is drumroll. That was just me tapping my cheeks, I know. Anyway, next episode is 100! I cannot believe that I am reaching 100 episodes. This is insane. I've never imagined in my life that I would get to 100 episodes, but here we are. And it's all thanks to you, my chlamydiots, my very, very special listeners. I could not have done this without you, because you keep coming back for more content, you keep coming back for more education, more comedy, and I'm happy to give that to you. You keep supporting me, even though you know what I'm giving you is total garbage, and for that I am eternally grateful. This episode is going to be a little different than what you're normally used to, because I wanted to do something special for myself and for all of you. I wanted to take a look back as to how we got here, because really, this has been a wild ride. I still am kind of taking it in that there's so many things that have happened within the last, I don't know how many, 3 years of this show. First, I just found out that my podcast was listed as number 5 in Feedspot's top 10 Canadian Sexuality Podcasts. So thank you, Feedspot. Mwah. And second, I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that this show has taken me to different places and has connected me to different people from all sorts of educational backgrounds and even different parts of the world. It has connected me to educators and sex workers and therapists and porn stars, just every kind of person that I can think of, and I cannot thank them enough. All of my guests, past, present, and future. You are all so wonderful. I cannot stress this enough. I am so grateful. And then finally, the highlight of my year is that I got nominated for a Canadian Podcast Award for Outstanding Adult Series. What? Yeah, I know. Not to brag my own toot my own horn? Brag my, whatever. You get the point. I am just so happy to be nominated. Well, that's kind of a lie. I'd be happier if I won. But hey, I never would have imagined myself to be nominated for a Canadian Podcast Award. That is wild to me. So cross fingers that I actually do win by the time this comes out. But if I don't, I'm still very thankful that somebody out there noticed the hard work that I'm doing to put this kind of content out for you guys, because God knows that I am just creating garbage for you all every week, every other week, however often you listen to this. I'm just, I don't know, I'm speechless when it comes to being so thankful because I don't know what else to say other than thank you so much. So for the season finale of season 3 of Sex Ed with Tim, I wanted to take a look back at how we got here and the wild ride that this has taken me. Because we're going to do a little bit of a countdown episode, y'all. We are counting down the top 10 favorite moments as voted by my Chlamydiot hive. So if you hate any of these, then that's your own damn fault for not voting. But for those of you that actually voted, thank you so much for doing that. These are the top 10 moments from all 3 seasons of the show. And we're going to take a look back. And here we go with our harp music. Get ready for some nostalgia. At number 10, we have the episode called You May Call Me Jiggly, my interview with RuPaul's Drag Race queen, Jiggly Caliente. A little context with this episode, I literally just slid into Jiggly's DMs. By that I mean, I just sent an email which I thought was hers. Turns out it was her. I forgot where I found it, but it was her. And she was gracious enough to do the interview over the phone, and like she was doing laundry and packing all while talking to me on the phone. And what a lady. Like, I love her so much. She was really just so full of life and attitude and just the kind of bitch that I wanted on my show. So here is Jiggly Caliente.
10. Telling my mom I'm a trans woman made so much more sense in her head than me telling her I'm gay.
Mom, hindi ka na sa...
Because I guess I would be like, it's a woman with a man. It made sense to her rather than a man and a man. So I was like, I get it. My mom is very super religious. It was a easier pill to swallow, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't complaining because at least it was an easy transition as far as in like having to tell my mother.
I would rather have a straight trans daughter than a gay cis son. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like, my mom was like, I would rather a tranny than a fucking bakla. She was like, I can't. I was like, what?
Wow.
I was just like, I was like, okay.
The next favorite moment that y'all have chosen is my conversation with Ellie Ray from the Sugar Pussy podcast, going all the way back to season 2. Now, for this episode, I remember it fondly because it was my conversation with another sugar baby, and that was something I never really got the chance to have. And I love the fact that she had me on her show, Sugar Pussy, for not 1, but 2 episodes, because we just vibed really, really well. And I haven't heard from Ellie in quite some time, even though we met on the internet through Instagram DMs, and we sort of connected for a little while, but I haven't seen her post anything, nor have I seen any new episodes come out of Sugar Pussy. But if Ellie does end up hearing this, please, I would love to connect again. I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. At number 9, here is my conversation with Ellie Ray.
9. That's awesome. Yeah, my experience, vacations have always been I accompany them type deal. So, and that's fine with me depending on who it is, right? So if I have a good enough connection with them and they're cool enough, that's perfectly fine. And the New York trip was with somebody who was fantastic. So it was super fun. It was absolutely great. But I have had trips that aren't, because that's a lot of time to be spending with somebody.
Yeah.
You have to really be on the same page.
Do you find that when you're out with a sugar daddy that you kind of get those weird looks from other people, that they kind of know what's going on?
I had one time I was having dinner with a sugar daddy, and the waitress referred to me as his daughter, and he was so offended too. He was so mad. him. He was so mad. He's like, do I look that old? And I'm like, yeah, you do.
Oh, I'm crying. That's so bad. Oh.
It was bad, but like I would have preferred just to ignore it. And he was just so mad. Like I was like, oh God, this is not a good rest of the night right here.
At number 8 is my episode with Hebron Rodriguez, who, as of this recording, is now Dr. Hebron. Congratulations on getting your PhD, baby. You're a pretty hard dick. And I'm so glad that y'all picked this as number 8 because it was really interesting, I guess, that when this episode came out, it became the most streamed episode of podcast history. Well, I say that like I'm bragging about all of it. No, I mean of my podcast. When this came out, this was the most streamed out of all the episodes on my show. I'm not sure why, but I guess you were all just really going through it with affairs and cheating, and I feel you all. So whatever it was that you're going through, I hope that this episode helped you and you've got that cheating scandal resolved. Maybe not. I don't know. I also want to go on record and say it probably was not me. Well, maybe. I don't know. At number 8 is my conversation with the very sexy therapist, Hebron Rodriguez.
8. Going back to this question that you asked in terms of people who are more prone to cheat or not, I'm going to be blatantly honest. According to available information, what I feel confident asserting this, cheating is very common, is kind of like ubiquitous in society ever since romantic relationships and marriage and whatnot became a thing for human beings.
Literally from the beginning of time?
From the beginning of time. Yeah, it has been a thing. And
puta madre.
Exactly. Yeah. And in the end, anyone, anyone could fall into that category. And anyone could fall into these behaviors or engaging in this way and crossing that boundary, right? Even when you're in a happy relationship. And that's something that's hard to swallow, like a difficult to swallow pill.
And we know how hard things are to swallow.
I knew you were going to say something about that. So
you tried to choose your words carefully.
I said it. Yeah. I give you an easy one. Yeah.
Oh shit! Fuck. At number 7 is my conversation with porn star extraordinaire and acrobat, circus performer, and just all-around sweetheart Manuel Sky. I will admit that this episode gave me so much anxiety, mostly because this was the first time I've ever interviewed a big-name porn star. If you don't know Manuel Sky, he is one of the biggest names in gay porn, and for good reason. He's gorgeous. The man is absolutely beautiful. I really wish that one day he would fuck the living daylights out of me because he is gorgeous. But I'm not going to let that distract me from conducting a somewhat coherent interview because he was very shirtless and I was very aroused, so it was very hard to focus. Nonetheless, because of this conversation, it was just so enlightening and revealing and really lighthearted. So much so that Spotify Wrapped told me that this was the most played episode of the entire show. I'm not sure why. I guess y'all just wanted to click on a pretty man on the cover of the episode and just stared at him all day. Which is fine with me, I guess, but hey, I'll take what I can get in terms of downloads. At number 7 is my conversation with the Manuel Sky.
7.
My first sexual experiences, and that's way before internet, right? So I was 15 years old, and by 16, I had two very stable fuck friends. One of them was in his 30s already, and I was 16. So, and that's before internet.
Are you okay to tell us a little bit about that? I'm curious.
You're curious? Oh, well, so we met through the Madonna fan club. It was like the Grinder of the 90s. Yeah, so they were very, very sexy, beautiful aura, both of them. Even at one point, I was like, I think you guys could be a match, So, like, I organized threesome at 16, and they are still together today. They met. We had threesome sex, and then they're still together today. There was a match. I was right.
Oh, look at you bringing people together with your dick. That's so cute. Look at you, Mr. Matchmaker.
I'm all about sharing. Yeah,
sharing is caring.
Sharing.
Oh,
and the fun part is that so the older one would pick me up at my parents' place. My parents were all in awe with him because he had the beautiful energy. He was really sweet. Little, he would bring me in his car in a parking lot, and tie me up to the bench of the car.
Ooh, hello. Yum.
Hello. That's how I started. So I was coming back at school on a Monday morning and showed the handcuff marks on my wrist to my best girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
while the other kids are pretending, I like this girl. I want to kiss this girl. I'm like, really? You want to kiss a girl? I'm like, look at me here. Look at my mark.
I've gone way beyond kissing. I've been tied up and fucked in 5 different ways in just the last hour. The next on the list is my conversation with the one, the only Drew Dixon. So you can probably tell I was very nervous in this episode because not only was I interviewing another big name in gay porn, but this was the first time I've ever recorded a big name in gay porn immediately after having sex with him. So you can kind of tell in the recording that I was very off my game because I had just come, he had just come inside me, and I was like in a state. We were both floating on cloud 9, so we're kind of giddy. And yeah, I was very nervous because I didn't know how to conduct myself immediately after coming. I mean, who does really? But nonetheless, this was a very fun episode, and I'm glad you guys voted for this because Spotify Wrapped declared this episode as the #1 episode that people turned into before becoming a fan of the show. I'm not too sure what Spotify called it. I think they were like, oh, this is the episode where new fans came to start your show. So I'm really glad that this became this sort of, this beacon of light amongst you horny faggots out there. Because, again, whenever I post a picture of a hot shirtless guy, y'all come flocking into the DMs and asking how I ended up in that situation. I don't know either. Anyways, enjoy number 6, A Room with the Drew.
6.
You have been in porn for 5 years, which is amazing, and I have had the honor of being your partner here in this very bed in this random hotel here in Toronto, and you're nothing like you are in the videos. I'd say you're better.
Oh, really?
I think you're so much better in person than when I masturbate to your videos. It is...
Well, porn is very much performance-based. I'm 5 years in, I'm very aware of where the cameras are, where the lighting is, where the people are, where my angles are. Am I opening up to the camera? Can you see the penetration shots? Am I making too much noise? Am I not making enough noise? Is my my partner, is he making enough noise? Because if he's not making enough noise, I've then got to compensate for that. Someone's not pulling their weight.
Oh my God.
So there's a lot of things to think about. So you become very kind of, it is mechanical. People say, it's enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. There's a penis in my hole. What's not enjoyable about that? But, there's a lot to think about. Mm-hmm. Whereas in these environments, in four walls, when there's no cameras on, there's a lot of things that I enjoy. There's a lot of intimacy that I enjoy that doesn't go on camera because it doesn't read well, and the audience don't necessarily always want to see the touching and the smelling and the tasting and the kissing and stuff, and heavy breathing and the indulgenceness of sex. That's not a word. Indulgence. It is now. It is now.
If Drew said it, it's a word.
Put it in the dictionary. Emphasis on dick.
Dick.
Oh.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yes!
What's up, all you sick fucking perverts? Don't you just love love? The Love Shop has everything you need to feel the love in the air or in between your legs, wherever you want, really. They've got everything from vibrators, lubes, lingerie, and even full-sized sex dolls. Wow, I guess love really does come in all shapes and sizes. Visit loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 15% off the whole store. And the best part is that they ship all over Canada, US, and Ireland? To all my whores in Dublin, top of the morning to ya. That's loveshop.ca/sexedwithtim and check out code SEXEDWithTim for 15% off the entire store. Now get to fucking. Do you like feeling sexy and looking sexy? Of course you do. Only my listeners are sexy as fuck. I have partnered with fetishwear designer Dale Kuda to bring you the hottest deals on custom jockstraps, harnesses, hats, and more. Head over to dalekuda.com, that's DALEKUDA.com, and use code SEXEDWithTim at checkout for 25% off the entire store. Yeah, you heard me. 25% off. And cherry on top, free shipping. Oh my god. I have a few of the stuff that he has made for me. And girl, I'm wearing it right now. I'm wearing like a little jockstrap so that I could easily just like slip a little butt plug or dildo every now and then here and there. And I'm on the train. I'm just like, thank you, Dale. That's dalekuda.com with the code SEXEDWithTim for 25% off your entire purchase with free shipping. With a deal like that, I swear I could come buckets, honey.
The show is about to begin.
Yes.
The next moment that you all chose as your next favorite moment is dating all the way back from season 1, my conversation with the legendary dominatrix herself, Lady Pim. And I love that you guys picked this because this episode was so much fun to do, and we were just having a laugh, and we couldn't even take each other seriously, even though what we were trying to talk about was all BDSM and consent and whatnot. And then we kind of just started goofing off and being stupid with each other, and I can't remember what the LPM laughs per minute rate was. So it's just so much fun to let loose and just joke around with another fellow sex worker, fellow hot person, and just generally have a good time. Without further ado, this is number 5, Lady Pim.
5, Okay, get on your back, get into the tub, just like that. There you go. Get into position. You're a piss slut.
Yes, Miss
you know the position by now. Don't fucking act stupid. Get on your back.
Yes,
get your fucking feet up into the air like usual. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open wider, wider. Tongue out. Let me see that tongue. Let me see that tongue. What a good piss slut. Are you thirsty? Oh my God, I'm a little parched. Let me just take a quick sip of tea. Are you thirsty too? You seem thirsty.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, don't you love Frank's Red Hot? Can you just put it on anything? I find that with Frank's Red Hot, you can just put it on anything.
On anything. Like, fucking put it in my eyes for all I care.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a place this could go. Exactly.
Like, I will not like hesitate to pay for the next eye exam. Just fucking blind me. God.
Just blind me,
Daddy. I'm so tired of looking at another man. Just fucking blind me already.
Just blind me.
Oh my God, that's so. Okay, that was really hot, and like I love that. And I seriously have to like find a dom to like do that to me. Because I am so deprived. Like that little thing was like, I miss everything. I miss going to shit.
I know. And like, honestly, the virtual domination thing, like, it's not ideal. Like, ideally, we're in the same room. But it's a pretty good, like, thing to have on the back burner. Like, because it still can be really hot. Like, depending on, if you really like dirty talk and you like a certain tone of voice and you like to be called a certain thing, like a lot of that can be replicated in a virtual session. Like, it can feel very similar. Like, it's not exactly like it in real life, but it can hit a lot of those buttons.
Right. And also, like, I feel like once we start opening up again, wearing masks and everything, that kind of comes with a costume, right? Like, you want me to come in as like an executioner? Oh.
In kink, a mask is hot as hell.
Oh my God, yes. Like breath play, like making you wear a gas mask and like restrict your airflow. Oh, yeah. Ooh, just watch your lips turn blue until you're no longer breathing, and then I run away with your money. If I haven't given it away by now, I am literally a homicidal. I like money and killing men.
I like money and murder.
I am literally like Jack the Ripper, but for the gays.
Jack the Popper?
Jack the Popper! Ooh.
Maybe we could do better, probably.
Or more like a Jacques, just to make it, Jacques.
Yes.
Just
to make it
Canadian.
Flamboyant.
Mm-hmm. Jackie Ripper.
Jackie
the Ripper. Ooh, that's a drag name, Jackie Ripper.
I do like Jackie Ripper. Yeah.
Ooh,
that's
I gotta come up with like a whole drag routine of just demeaning men, spraying their eyes with Frank's Red Hot
sauce.
Watch out, Canada's Drag Race. Jackie Ripper's coming to the stage.
Yeah, you know how you usually like open up a bottle of water and like spray the audience or whatever? You're just doing that with a bottle of Frank. Just like
yes, bitch, blind me. Kill my taste buds, mama. God, I swear to God, like the queer community has like the best compliments because it's like, I love your axe wound, bitch. Like,
yes.
Nice cold sore, honey.
Yeah. Word, come through, cold sore.
It's so gross and lovely at the same time.
Yeah.
We love an HPV positive queen. I will fully come in with a cold sore and make out with your like money in your mouth and take it as a tip.
And they're like, yes.
Yes, get me sick, mama. Sickening. Literally sickening. Oh, fuck.
up next at number 4 is probably my most difficult interview that I've ever done, at least in my opinion, because I'm talking to a literal child, and I was all over the place. You can tell I was nervous because I don't really know how to interact with children. So this was kind of like a challenge for me that I presented to myself, because I would like to be able to reach out to children and have these kinds of important conversations that they're having about sex, because apparently the North American school system has failed them. Now, I really like that this episode was chosen by a student of mine, and Russell, hello, if you're listening to this, thank you so much for choosing this episode. Shout out to you. So Russell chose this because this was a very interesting conversation between a child and an adult. And yeah, I was just very, what's the word I'm looking for? Pleasantly surprised with how well I was able to carry myself and, you know, handling such awkward conversations with kids who want to talk about adult topics. This is season 3, episode 11, Kids Ask the Darndest Questions.
4.
I just want to know where you stand, or at least what you know about sex education. Because 11 years old, I feel like there's some conversation then to be had.
What I know is 2 people have intercourse and then they have a baby.
Okay. That's a good start,
a pickle goes inside of a bun from the front or the back, and then I don't know.
No, that's great. A pickle goes in a bun. Oh, that was amazing.
I don't know.
You can say penis and vagina.
Okay, a penis goes inside a vagina or the ass, or via the mouth, or.
Okay, good. That's good.
Okay, but
keep going. Yeah.
I forgot how semen works.
What do you mean how semen works?
How cum works.
Like, where does it come from, or like how does it make a baby?
Does it go in the? I don't know how it functions. I forgot how it functions.
So semen is what the liquid is called when it comes out of the penis, but what is in the semen is the important part in making a baby, and that's called sperm. It's a sperm cell. Have you ever seen a picture of that little thing that looks like a balloon with a long tail?
Yeah. It looks like a little like a white tadpole.
A tadpole, exactly. So that's the sperm cell that goes into the egg, which is located within the uterus, and then when it gets when it gets fertilized, I can't speak right now. When it gets fertilized, that's the initial process of turning into a baby.
Michael Jackson tadpole.
What?
Michael Jackson tadpole.
I don't get that. What's a Michael Jackson tadpole?
Sperm. You said it looks. It's that one balloon with the tail. It reminded me of a tadpole, and Michael Jackson, since it's a white pale.
Well, I have no words. I'm very happy that you know that. But you do know that if a penis goes inside an ass, there's no fertilization that happens there, right?
I never knew that.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Third place is another one of my favorites because This episode was such a fun way to let loose and just not have any structure whatsoever. And that wasn't really something that I was used to, and I was really nervous about going into this recording without having any sort of notes or whatever on me. The only notes I did have, though, were like links to articles and stuff. So I had a chance to kind of flex my comedy chops with this one. And I still remember the first time we ever made any sort of connection was through email or Instagram, and it just became one exchange after the other. And this here, you're hearing for the first time we've ever interacted. And from the recording, you can just tell that we have instant chemistry. And I'm so proud and very honored to call her my unofficial podcasting wife. This is M from the Sexistentialist podcast, back in my season 2 premiere. Happy New Year.
3.
I feel like with Dungeons and Dragons, like anything is possible.
Yeah, that's true. Infinite possibilities.
Like you can totally make, like, I don't know, a Burning Man orgy dome Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yeah. But then you are like, I think mapping out an orgy though, like live action, real life orgy. If you're gonna role play an orgy, it's really hard not to just fuck, I feel like. I mean, maybe that's me.
Because like the dungeon master is gonna have to be very descriptive about what it is that you all do in this mythical orgy. And like, okay, let's role play something right now. If I were to say, I don't know, we're somewhere in the deserts of Nevada. And there's Burning Man happening, and I don't know. Set the scene for us. What would that be like as a dungeon master?
Okay. Pardon me. I'm just gonna get a little ready. You look up to the ceiling of your teepee. You feel colors and the vibrance of the space around you start to cover your skin. The hairs on your arms begin to raise, and then suddenly, you feel the desperate urge to emerge from the teepee and join the crowds of people dancing and roaming, naked bodies sweating as they collide. Soon, you stop feeling like an individual and become one with the rest of the Burning Man populace. I don't know. It gets raunchy from there, but that was just a little riff.
No, that was great. Like, oh my God, you are a natural born storyteller.
Oh, I don't know. It was like my heart's racing because it's like, oh, I gotta think of the next descriptive word, but you know.
Okay, so like, say I don't know, I roll a 14 or something. Would you ask me like what I do? Because I have no idea how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. So you could roll a 14, but it depends on like what you were doing. So maybe if you were exiting your teepee and like going towards someone, then maybe I would be like that, you know, like give me a perception check, and you roll a 14 and be like, you see that there's a man across the crowd who's making eyes at you.
His name is Chris Evans.
His name is Chris Evans, and you recently saw a picture of his dick online. But anyway, and then he's holding a shield and nothing else.
Fuck, this feels so fucking good.
In second place is a very special episode that I hold near and dear to my heart. And this is because the guest was a very good friend of mine. She still is. We just haven't seen each other in a while. She's the host of, or rather the co-host of the Spooky Hour podcast, my good friend Holly. And I never knew that we would have so much podcast chemistry together, even though in real life, she and I were such good friends in college. And whenever we talk, it's just a very good time. It's almost like we can't even get a word in because it almost feels like every time we say something, the next sentence that we say is going to be a joke. So naturally, I wanted that kind of chemistry on the podcast, and I wanted the Halloween special to feel like a combination of comedy and horror, and it has to do something with sex. And I couldn't think of a better person to have that special with than Holly. So, at second place is my Halloween special from season 1. Wow, season 1. Poor Unfortunate Holes.
2.
Next on our tour, we're going to go to South Africa. If you're from Africa, why are you white?
I know, it's
Sorry.
crazy. Oh my God. Mean girl joke. I was going to say, I just met a lady from South Africa and she told me that they have like bars on their windows at their house. So like I know it's already going to be a crazy story.
Okay, get ready for this. So basically what happened in South Africa. By the way, this was in February of 2015 from the Daily Mail. So obviously very reliable. So this would happen to a couple, Sasha, who's 34, and Saul, who's 22. They were having sex and doing the nasty and doing their own little thing until they experienced something called penis captivus. It sounds exactly what you think it means. What do you think it means, Holly?
Okay, so is it the penis that does the thing, or is it not the penis that does the thing?
It's not the penis that does the thing.
Okay, so I'm picturing like the movie where have you seen the movie where the
It's essentially that. Penis captivus is here's the thing first. With penis captivus, it does happen, but it is extremely rare. Basically what happens is that the vaginal walls clamp down way too hard so that you can't pull out.
like ever? Or just is this like a forever thing?
I would love that. Typical muscle clamps are like a few seconds to like a couple of minutes, and then the vaginal walls will like relax. This specific couple, it like went on for a couple hours, so long that like the guy was yelling for help that the neighbors called the cops. And then there was a crowd of like 2,000 people gathering in their apartment.
Oh my God, poor woman.
So
it sounds like a Grey's Anatomy episode or something.
The Halloween special.
Is it?
It could be. I don't know. I don't watch Grey's. I'm not a faggot. No. So a little bit more to the story. According to the story that spread like wildfire through the neighborhood, they found that they could not separate afterwards, apparently because the what's her name? Sasha's like suspicious husband, Neil, who's like 42 years old, had gone to a witch doctor who put the curse on his wife's private parts before he left for business.
What?
The curse, the spell known as a muthi, M-U-T-H-I, forgive me for saying that wrong, is designed to make sure that if someone other than the husband tries to have sex with the wife, he will remain stuck until the husband returns to exact his revenge.
Oh my God. That's insane.
I mean, you gotta, if you have a bar of gold, you're gonna want a safety deposit box in the bank.
It's one hell of a safety deposit box.
With state-of-the-art security technology, kind of like in The Pacifier with Vin Diesel, where you gotta like lasers and fire. With the vaginal
You
wall.
watched that?
Leave me alone. Vin Diesel is hot. Okay, shut up.
What an obscure reference.
He's hot. Okay. What do you want me to say? Like fucking Mission Impossible? No, thank you, Tom Cruise. Vin Diesel's the one that does it for me.
Good for you. But that movie in specific, like that one in particular.
Oh my God. So, in the article, I don't really know if they ever got separated. They probably are, because it'd be like weird. But
you know what? Don't go chasing vaginal clamps, as TLC once sang.
I'm just like, I'm not gonna lie, this whole time I'm like trying to picture what that must feel like, because like,
I mean, how about you put your finger inside of your vagina right now? Clamp
right now. This is the Howard Stern show.
No, it's actually Joe Rogan, but for the gays. It's Ho Rogan.
I see a Halloween costume.
Ho Rogan.
Ho Rogan.
Or like just a really bald snail and call that Slow Rogan.
Oh my god.
Or just like a really angry dude with big bushy hair, Afro-gan.
Oh, combine them all into one and become the
Slow
ultimate
Fro Rogan. The ultimate Rogan.
The ultimate Rogan.
And me, the gay one, Homo Rogan.
Oh, I love it.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Fuck. Yeah, don't stop, baby. You're doing so good. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Okay, so if you haven't caught on by now, and I really hope you have, you've probably noticed that there is moaning at the end of each transition, and you've also probably noticed that the moaning gets longer and longer and longer. Well, that's because I've been edging you. See what I've done there? I waited until the very last minute to actually reference why I put all these moans in, and also, you know, give yourself a little treat by hearing a guy moan into your ear. Anyways, I have been waiting for the number one moment here on all of Sex Ed with Tim, and I'm so glad that you all chose this as the top moment in the show's history, because it is done with none other than my best friend Anne. We were reading a whole bunch of fan mail, which reminds me, like, you guys know I have a voicemail, right? I have a voicemail where you can send me little voice notes of your questions, and I can play them on the air and answer it live on the air. I also have my email, timlagman@sexedwithtim.com, or head over to sexedwithtim.com and ask me any questions that you want, and I'll try my best to be helpful. I cannot guarantee that I'm going to be helpful. Like I've said many, many times before, I may be a certified sex educator, but that does not make me a good one. So, again, I'm so thankful that you guys chose this as the number one episode, getting ready to orgasm. This is my special episode, a bonus episode, if you will, a bonus, where my best friend Anne and I read fan mail in this very special bonus called You've Got Mail, M-A-L-E, because duh, why the fuck not? 1. All right, so this next written question is about, it's actually a little weird. I don't know how to categorize this, but I'm going to read it out loud anyway, and then just let's see where we get through this. For context, I'm a cis white guy. Okay, so cis white guy. Name the first cis white guy who's problematic that comes at the top of your head.
Oh, first cis white guy that's problematic?
That comes off your head. Top of your head right now.
Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp, okay.
Did you hear that Rihanna is going to have him walk in the...
in the Savage Fenty.
Rihanna,
I was like, Rihanna girl. Rihanna. You literally just came out with a song. Let's not,
Rihanna, what's going on?
Anyway, so Johnny Depp wrote into the show, for context, I'm a cis white guy who is physically attracted to most people who identify within the male or masculine spectrum, i.e. masc, femme, non-binary, comfortable, having a penis, transmasc, etc., whatever. I get cravings for stimulation from certain cultures at a time.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. The way he phrased that.
Yep. Let me
Hold on. Can you repeat that for me?
He says, I get cravings for stimulation from certain cultures at a time. I hope that means bacterial. But no. He says, like, I want to fuck guys of that culture, eat the food, listen to the music, go to family or friend parties, attend religious ceremonies, etc. It's like I get a crush on a culture and crave all the things, but not as an I am one of you, in quotes, but more as a I crave the types of interaction or energy that is unique to that culture. Just to clarify, I am not excluding experiences of cultures or guys that I am not crushing on at the time. I love everyone and very food motivated, LOL. I can't decide if it is problematic, but I'd like to think it gives me an appreciation for more than just white, cis, Midwestern life.
Okay, I'm gonna... Okay, this is something I've thought about a lot, but not... Okay, hold on. Let me get into it.
Yeah.
So I think that there's, like, this complex that white people have. I am white, however, my parents are from Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
I am a second-generation Canadian. I am very... I speak the language that my parents speak. I was raised in the culture. I feel that I have a very strong identity to the Eastern European culture that my family comes from. I have gone back to the motherland many times and all of that. So I am white. However, I do consider myself to be part of this culture very, very closely. Mm-hmm. And even though I grew up in Canada, I was born in Canada, if someone asks me what I am, I'm going to say that I'm Eastern European. Mm-hmm. And I think that people who don't have that, who are third, fourth, fifth generation Canadian or American, who are just white and don't participate in the culture that their ancestors were a part of, have this complex where there's like an emptiness in their lives because they don't have this. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And because they have this emptiness in their lives because they don't have a real culture. Like, the joke is that white people don't have culture, but, like, what about coleslaw or whatever? Which, I'm sorry, coleslaw bangs. I love coleslaw.
Coleslaw rights.
And coleslaw is an Eastern European, like, go to any Eastern European country and you're getting coleslaw at, like, fast food places and whatever. So, coleslaw hits. But I think, like, these people who don't have a close connection like people like me do, they don't have this kind of culture that you can participate in and that makes you feel like you belong and that you have an identity. And so what happens is they pick and choose from different cultures, which is why you have these culture vultures, specifically who are appropriating like African American culture.
Right.
Specifically, right? And I think that is all a kind of side effect of white supremacy. Ooh, we're getting academic. Mm-hmm. And why I say that is that white supremacy relies on expanding the definition of whiteness. So there was a time in America where Irish and Eastern Europeans and Italians were not considered white.
Yeah, they were like the bottom of the totem pole.
Yes. So like, and in no way am I comparing the discrimination that these people face to the discrimination and the absolute cultural genocide that was happening to Indigenous people and to people of African descent in North America. It was 100% not the same thing. However, the fact was that white was Anglo-Saxon for a really long time. And then as like after slavery ended in the United States and Black people were able to move more freely across the United States, they became, these white people, these Anglo-Saxon white people, were beginning to become outnumbered. And so in order to maintain power, they had to expand the definition of whiteness. And what whiteness does is it erases everything. You're not Irish anymore. You're not Italian. White. You're white, right?
Yeah.
And in order to be part of this white identity, which white supremacy
you need to leave behind your Irish culture,
yes,
your Italian culture.
And that's how you become white, right? This is like not a fully formed thought. There are people who are much more intelligent than me who have expanded on this. This is not an original thought.
Yeah. This is not an academic podcast.
Yeah. This is just I think like I'm coming from the perspective of like a white person first and foremost, but also someone who is very close with their culture.
Yeah.
And so I see that difference of like people who experience that and people who don't.
Yeah. But you have like culture, whereas this person is from the Midwest.
Yes. So I believe that probably my children or my grandchildren would not have the same experience as me, and they would feel more white than they would feel Eastern European.
Right.
So I think like this absence of something very specific and something connected to you that you feel through your family and through your ancestors, that's lacking in these people who live as like white people, then you just kind of go fucking insane, man.
Because it's kind of like this constant search of like, where do I belong? Where do I fit in?
And you see the like community that exists with people of color who have culture, and you want to be a part of that. So you're fetishizing, and I think what's happening here is you're not fetishizing the culture, you're fetishizing the community that comes from it, because you want to be a part of the community, right?
Right, yeah.
I mean,
to fetishize a culture, that's like, you're basically separating a whole...
I think the fact that it's multiple,
that
it's not just one, it's the community that's appealing to this person.
Yeah,
right?
This guy is searching for a place to belong because he's never found any sort of culture within the Midwest. And what is Midwestern culture anyway? Right?
Yeah, I think like, yes, is there a culture to the Midwest? But it's never going to be as strong as it is with people like immigrant culture. Like
Eastern European culture has its own thing. Filipino culture has its own thing. And then we all gather together because we all like come from the same kind of struggle, or like we have so much in common from where we descended. So we build on that. Whereas this guy, it sounds like he's just never had that. And when I imagine Midwest, I imagine farmland.
Yeah.
So it's like you really don't have much community other than the small town that you're from.
Yeah, and I think like the struggle strengthens the ties between us in our communities, right? Like, I think, this is like kind of weird, but when elections happen, right? And people talk about, you have to secure the the Chinese vote. You need to secure that these people are in community with each other, and that means that they kind of coalesce together and they look out for each other in this way, and so they form like kind of I keep saying the word community, but I think that's like what it is. Yeah, and I think like you're always going to feel connection with people who have the same culture as you. Yeah. There's always going to be a level of understanding between you and someone from the same culture that you won't get with someone else. Like, we come from, I think, different but cultures that are very similar in a lot of ways too, from our struggle and from our and I think like immigration experiences. But at the end of the day, I will never understand you 100% as a Filipino person, because that's not my culture, and you'll never understand me 100% as an Eastern European. So I think like I said, there's something about the connection that seems to be appealing to this person, because he's not just it's sexual. He wants to participate in religious ceremonies. Yeah. He wants to like consume the food of that culture. I just do have a problem with what he says. Like, I want to fuck guys of that culture. Listen to the music. I was like, yeah, I think that's you're confused, and I think this is what it is. the intimacy that comes with being with someone in a physical relationship, you're using that as like
a vehicle
to be able to get into that
that
like wider connection.
So it's like, if I have sex with this guy of this descent or something, maybe I can immerse myself into where.
And it's also like you're confusing intimacies, right? The intimacy that comes with
sex and with community
and with right.
It gets confusing,
and it's like you're combining them both.
Right now, to address his question, is that problematic? Do you think it's problematic for a cis white Midwesterner to immerse himself in a culture coming from a place that he doesn't have any?
I'm gonna say it again. Go to therapy. Like, I think this is a symptom of like a broader issue. I think you feel very disconnected from the people around you, and this is almost like a shortcut for you to get that emotional connection that you so crave, right? And this is a shortcut for you to do that. And instead of building, the words of the episode are intimacy and community, but
gentle.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I repeat myself, but
no, that's fine. It's just a very interesting question because.
Do I think it's problematic? I think it is problematic.
Yeah, because he says he can't decide if it's problematic, but I'd like to think it gives me an appreciation for more than Midwestern life. You know,
I think there's like
this requires nuance.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll say this. I was with a guy who is Canadian. Does not have
the most important fact is that he was a Pisces. Ugh.
Yeah. It was a very dark time in my life. Anyway,
let's move on from there.
But I can see that like there was always a disconnect between us because
you had a cultural.
I had a culture and he didn't have that in his life.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff that I did that he just could not understand. He just couldn't get it at all.
Yeah.
And I think that there is something to trying to build an understanding of someone when you come from that perspective of like, I don't necessarily have a culture, but my partner does.
So it's kind of like, am I part of this?
Yeah. And like, I want to, because I care about this person, I want to understand, I want to take part as, not as an individual, but as someone who is a partner to someone who is part of this. You know what I mean? So I think like there's something sweet about that, about wanting to be a part of that in order to like have a better understanding of your partner. I think that's totally fine. But if you're doing this not out of a desire to be close with your partner or to develop a better understanding of your partner, you're doing it because there's something you're gaining from it. Maybe get that checked out.
That.
Let's unpack.
Because that becomes self-serving. Rather,
and it shows that you don't care about the people.
Yeah. You care about yourself more.
You see the people as a means to an end for yourself, for something that you desire, something you're lacking in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than like coming from a place of empathy or a sincere understanding.
There's a level of give and take in any time you're coming and taking part in something that you're not normally a part of, right? You have to give and you have to take. Yeah. And it seems like you're taking without giving.
Yeah. So, sorry, Johnny Depp. That is verdict.
Both real Johnny Depp and this Johnny Depp, please go to therapy.
Go to therapy.
But also, like, I want to express some like sympathy and empathy for someone who I think is struggling with something that we have in our lives that a lot of people don't. Which
should we check our cultural privilege?
No, I want to say that like my life is better because I have this
culture. Yeah,
because
community.
Yes. My life is better for it. Yeah. It's hard sometimes, especially being a child of immigrants.
Yeah.
Not easy, not a fun time.
No.
But I know that I'm a better person for it.
Yeah. It gives you tough skin.
Yeah.
And clear skin.
That's true. You're glowing.
Always, all the time.
But yeah, I think like, would I want to be
culturalists? No.
No, I very much, I think it's especially easy for white people who come from like a same situation. It's so easy for me to assimilate into Canadian culture.
That's
true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a privilege, 100%. That is 100% a privilege. But I think that I don't want to completely assimilate into Canadian culture. I want to have that connection. It's special to me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Why are we being so helpful towards these men?
Like I said, I can't help it. I'm a mommy.
We're supposed to be haters, but you know what? I think that was very helpful.
I mean,
and I hope this writer, gets.
Yeah, like I said, Johnny Depp, get into therapy.
Get help.
Okay. Shit. Oh, I'm so fucking proud of you, baby. Fuck, that felt so fucking good. Fuck, yeah. Always do so fucking good for me, baby girl. You make me so fucking proud of you. Fuck. Shit.
Did you get there? Yeah? Did you come more than once? Awesome. Oh my god. And you guys are gonna keep coming more than once, because next season we are starting off big with the big 100. Jesus Christ, you guys. Next season premiere is going to be my 100th episode. I have been doing this over 100 times. This is insane. I don't know how much longer I can do this, but I love doing this so much. So I hope to keep generating content for you guys. I hope to keep running the podcast for as long as I could, because I feel like there's still so much work to do that revolves around sex, and there is still so much that we need to talk about to help normalize these kinds of conversations, to help talk about how uncomfortable we are and how to make it just, through the fucking day, I guess. There's so much about our bodies, about our pleasure, and about our kinks and fetishes, our likes, dislikes, and desires that need to be on the air. And there's still so much discussion to be had and still so much topics to cover. I feel like I've only covered the tip of the iceberg. Just a tip. And there is a lot to do. So season 4 is well underway. I've already started recording. I actually have so many episodes on the back burner. And from what I can tell, the next season is going to be a hell of a fun ride. I've got some pretty fun games lined up. I got a new segment in the season called Home or Homo. I have got, let me see here. I've got a sex worker, a straight male sex worker. I've got Drew coming back. Oh my god, he's like an STI. He just won't leave me alone. And I've got an episode all about weed and sex. I've also got an author. Actually, a bunch of authors are coming to talk about their books. So that's Sex Ed with Tim first, right? No. Actually, that's a lie. I've had an author before. But I've never had this many authors come onto the show to talk about their books. So yeah, season 4 is going to be quite the fun ride, and I'm so glad that you guys are going to be joining me on that ride. Please do not forget
that this helps so much. It really helps the show gain traction, puts the show on the charts. Please do not forget to give me a 5-star rating and a review if you're on Apple, and share it with your friends. Like, you guys listen to this show because this is entertaining, right? This is fun. We're all here to have fun. And I try to make it as fun and as funny and hilarious as possible because I want you guys to have just a good time and to really have that belly laugh, because laughter is such an underrated medicine that you can get for free. You don't need a prescription for it. And I'm here to write all of the scripts for you. I'm really, really hoping that you guys stay with me for season 4, because it is jam-packed with a lot of fun stuff and a lot more education and a lot more entertainment. Because like I said, entertainment is always the number one priority, and everything else comes with that. See, I can't even talk right now. I think I'm getting a little emotional, and it's also like almost 2 a.m. when I'm recording this because I can't sleep from all the excitement. Anyways, again, thank you so much for the wonderful 4 years, I guess. 2020, 2021, 2020. Yeah, that is 4 years. 4 years of podcasting. Thank you so much for wonderful, like workshops and guest appearances and panel speaking. And just, your unwavering support. That's what I'm most thankful for. Whether you're a new listener or an old listener, or you've just said hi to me on the street, or even like hired me to do a little bit of a workshop for you. For all of those that have been involved with me and I'm really thankful for just how wonderful you've all been. This is something I really like to do, and I can't see myself doing anything else. And this gives me a lot of joy. And I just love spreading the word about good, healthy, thorough sex education. Even though I'm so unserious about a lot of things, being unserious and being funny really does give me a lot of joy, because it brings you a lot of joy. And I hope to keep doing it. And I've said this so many times right now, but I can't say it enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for your support and your love and just your views, your downloads, your clicks, anything that you can show your own form of love and gratitude. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Because guess what? Next episode is episode 100. So I will see you in the new year. Have a great holiday. We're going to be celebrating like we always do, with some cake, a little bit of champagne, and a little bit of fuckery. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Please do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe, because you are supporting gay content, queer content, sex education content. And if you don't, you're a raging, vehement, violent homophobe. I do not make the rules. See you all at the next episode. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Sex Ed with Tim podcast. Sex Ed with Tim is created and produced by me, Tim Lagman. Music is Aces High by Kevin MacLeod. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GaySlutClown and at Sex Ed with Tim. You can also like and follow me on the Sex Ed with Tim Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for all your support, you dirty little slut.